Okay, so I'm going to start by adding a little bit of our olive oil. We love our Jejora olive oil into a big non-stick skillet. If I could talk right today, that would be good. And no, we never did find the $40. Everybody asked me that over the weekend, and who heard me talking about taking Ireland to school on Friday and stopping at our little coffee shop. And she had some money. I'd given her some money for $40 for a school sweatshirt. And literally seconds later, we got in the car, and I dropped her off at school, and she said, "Mom, did you give me that money for the $40? And I said, "Yeah, I gave you the money for the $40. And between the coffee shop and school, the money somehow disappeared, so we never did find it. She keeps saying, "It'll turn up, Mom." I'm thinking not so much. So anyway, I'm heating some olive oil in a skillet, and I've got about a pound of peeled, deveined shrimp, and you can use the little guys for this sandwich. These happen to be a nice size, so it's up to you what size shrimp you want to use, but these look fantastic. And you notice I'm using my fingers. I've got nice clean hands. I just washed them right before the show to place these shrimp around the pan so that they're not overlapping, and that's going to give them a little bit of nice color. They're going to get caramelized, which is going to give them some nice flavor. Okay, let me wash those hands again. And while the shrimp are doing their thing, and it doesn't take long for them to do their thing, I'm going to toast. You could do this on 2 pieces of, well, actually, this is going to make about 4 sandwiches. So 4 pieces of toasted sourdough bread, or a nice French baguette that we're just going to toast in the oven. We just split it in half, and I'm just going to toast it up because this sandwich is going to be, you know, a really hearty sandwich. It's so important to toast the bread so it really holds up to it. Now, our chipotle mayo. This is a can of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. You're going to find this in the Mexican grocery aisle of the regular grocery store, which that aisle just keeps expanding and expanding, and I love it, that whole international section of the grocery store. So many cool new products. These are hotter than heck, but they are fantastic. They've got great smoky flavor. So, it just smells so good. So it just depends how many peppers you want to add, how hot you want this. I'm going to kind of go middle, medium of the road. I'm just checking my shrimp here. I'm going to season my shrimp with a little bit of Cajun seasoning. And again, just depends on how spicy you want it. If you don't want it spicy, you could just do salt and pepper. Oh man, does that smell good. Okay, so I'm going to do about, we'll start with 1. We can always add 2. So these peppers come in this wonderful sauce, so, well, I'll do 2 because that was a smaller one. And then we'll do a little of the sauce. The sauce has that great flavor. Peppers are hot, and the sauce has this great smoky flavor. Now, the thing is when you open a can of these, usually you're stuck with, you know, 3/4 of the can, and you don't want to throw it out. So what I do is put that in a little Ziploc baggie or those little snack bags and throw them in your freezer, and then the next time a recipe calls for chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, you can just, you know, you've got a few right in your freezer, throw them in the microwave just to, you know, defrost them, and you're good to go. Getting back to our shrimp here. Yes, we have a big night out coming up in just a couple of weeks. We're headed to a wonderful restaurant in the Manitowoc area, 5-course meal. The menu looks amazing. And we're going to talk about the menu and more about the big night out coming up. But we're headed there Monday, September 23rd, and it's going to be a blast. I'm going to do a teeny bit more oil. And our shrimp is just starting to turn pink, so it's almost done. Whoops. Lost the cap off that oil, but we're okay. Okay, now getting back to the chipotle mayo. So we've got our chipotles and adobo sauce. We've got some real mayonnaise. A little bit of salt and pepper we want to put with that. And some fresh lime juice. All right. Just going to press down on our lime just to get the juices flowing. Do a little bit of lime juice over that shrimp because why not? Give it some more flavor. Turn off our shrimp. All right. And I do this in a food processor. If you don't have one of these, you can do it by hand, although those mini food processors are really inexpensive, and they're great to whip up flavored mayos and sauces and things like that. Perfect. It becomes a really nice, pretty color. And I'm telling you, all of the top chefs, or a lot of the top chefs, I should say, are really into sandwiches, and they're starting to open sandwich shops, gourmet sandwich shops. So sandwiches are also, this show's all about being in style. Sandwiches are really on trend right now, not just your ordinary bologna and cheese. We're talking about, you know, taking everything to way the next level. So, you know, artisan sausages and cheeses and, you know, handcrafted different cured meats, and in this case, you know, taking that, you know, same ordinary BLT that we grew up with, which I happen to love, but to a whole nother level, adding a flavored mayo. Flavored mayos are so easy to make. You saw we made that in minutes, and I make like a pesto mayo that just is mayonnaise and pesto sauce, or a roasted red pepper mayo, which is, again, jarred red peppers, a little bit of mayonnaise, maybe a little garlic. So there, you know, lemon basil mayo, just mayonnaise, lemon juice, and fresh basil. So, you know, it's as easy as just flavoring up your mayo, and then you've got already a really nice gourmet spread to, you know, take your sandwich to the next level. This time of year when the tomatoes are fantastic, using those great heirloom tomatoes. Using, instead of, you know, iceberg lettuce, use romaine and spring mix lettuce. Little things that you can do to really take a sandwich to a next level. Of course, the bread. It's all about the bread, too. A good sandwich. You can't have a good sandwich without good bread. So picking up a nice loaf of bread, in this case, and then toasting it. So you're going to have that nice crisp crust that will really hold up to all this stuff. Okay, a generous, and I've asked a lot of the chef friends that I work with, you know, what makes a really good sandwich. First of all, you got to take that spread and all the components. Really, you got to think about all the components. So we're going to take this chipotle mayo and really spread it. We've got a few chunks of the chipotle in here, which is great. No skimping on the spread. And then we're going to take some of that romaine lettuce, put some of that down. We're going to do some bacon. This is just, again, bacon very much on trend. I don't think I ever made a sandwich that didn't like bacon. I love bacon on my grilled cheese, even. We're going to take some tomatoes. Important when you're using tomatoes, to season them a little bit with some salt and pepper. Just a little bit of salt and pepper really will bring the flavor out of those tomatoes. And whenever I'm making just an ordinary BLT, I always season the tomatoes. And then we'll take some of that shrimp, that little bit of Cajun seasoning, and just put some of that on top. I mean, yeah, how good does this sandwich look? It's kind of like a po' boy from New Orleans meets the classic American BLT. You're definitely going to need some napkins for this one. It is a winner and makes a really nice lunch or a great dinner. And by the way, you can get the recipe on our website. Coming up, we are getting trendy on today's show. Why natural is back when it comes to decorating and doing flower arrangements in your home, using things from your yard, things around your house, really giving it that natural look. Plus, we talked about bacon. We're going to make bacon mac and cheese, and a few must-have things that you need to pick up for fall. We'll be back. Stay with us.